Welcome back everybody to Brian Runs. It's been quite some time since I made a video. It wasn't actually since like last year. So I wanted to just kind of check in with everybody and let everybody know how 2020 went for me and what my plans are for 2021. All right, before I start talking, I gotta make some coffee. So where should I start? I'm just going to do these in random order. There's a lot of things that happened in 2020 and a couple exciting things for 2021. The first thing about 2020 was in February I was sick. I was training for a half marathon and I got sick and I was sick for about a week. The doctor treated it as the flu, but the fever never went away. So yeah, like I said, the fever never went away. I had that for like a week and then finally I started to feel a little bit better. And then in March, I started running again. And then March was when everything with COVID kind of just started happening. A lot of things were canceling, being postponed. And as I started running through the summer, my running started getting really hard. Normally, it does get hard in the summer, but it was getting harder than normal. So at that point, I called my doctor. So running was getting like really hard. Like it was to the point where when I used to be able to run, 5-10 miles, no problem, I would go out in a block or two into my run. It was getting really hard to the point of I was questioning why I was running. There were times I wanted to just lay down on the side of the road and just call it quits. When I first started running was never really that hard. So this was something new for me. Okay, so my doctor wanted to find out why things were so hard for me, why the running was hard, the breathing was getting hard, and just what was going on. So she did a blood test, that came back good. So then she referred me to a cardiologist who actually sent me for a chest x-ray, a pulmonary function test, and an echocardiogram to see if there was anything going on there. Everything came back good with that too. And so talking with my doctor decided to send me for the COVID antibody test to see if I was exposed to COVID earlier in the year. At the time I didn't go, and it wasn't till about October when I went. It was a couple days actually before a half marathon. I decided to go for it just so I could kind of get some understanding as to, if I had it, even though I couldn't change it, just to explain what was going on with me. So I went for the test. And like I said, it was about 2 days before a half marathon. The day before the half marathon, I got the first result back that I was not recently exposed to COVID. So I ran the race, and then the Monday after the race, I actually got the second result back that I was exposed to COVID. So my doctor and I believe that when I was sick in February is when I did have COVID, which would explain why things were harder for me. Although, like I said, the cardiologist's tests all came back good. So good thing is there was no damage. I think just that just having it, I think just set my fitness back that much. It just made running that much harder to start over. Another bit too as to why things were hard for me is not just my physical health and well-being I think a lot of it was my mental health. I know mental health is one of those taboo things nobody likes to talk about. But I do suffer from anxiety, and I have seen my doctor about it, and I think anxiety, just from everything last year and just normal everyday anxiety, plus last year's and even this year's, COVID related anxiety, I think that was putting was making it a lot harder for me to run. I mean, there were times at work that even just to make it through a shift at work was so hard, I just started having anxiety attacks. So I think the anxiety coupled with the fact that I did have COVID, I think explained why I was struggling so much with my running. As far as anxiety and mental health goes, there is also actually an organization I found called Still I Run. It's very good for mental health, and it provides runners with support with mental health. So like I said, a lot of 2020 was health related issues, and this is going to be the time in the video where I give the disclaimer. Obviously I'm not a doctor. I don't act to be a doctor. These are just the situation I went through, my experiences. Yours could be different, and this is just as to what I went through. And if you have any health or any type of issues, you should definitely see a doctor and not just go off of my experiences. Like I said, running last year got really hard for me. And actually what I did, and I'm going to be making a video later to look into this more, is I made a video of me running the same course that I ran 6 years ago when I first started running. Because I want to see where I'm at now compared to where I am then. I have all my Strava data as far as elevation, paces, everything. And I want to see now, after having COVID, anxiety, just everything, being 6 years older, where I'm at. And it's going to be really interesting to see, am I really, is it as hard as I think it is, or is it just in my head? So yeah, like I said, I was training actually last year for a half marathon when I had got sick. That half marathon didn't happen, obviously, due to COVID. I had a lot of canceled races last year. That was the Rutgers half marathon I was going to be running, and I was trying to go for a PR of 1:45. My current time is 1:49 and a half. I know 4 minutes is kind of a lot to shave in one race, but I kind of wanted to just go for it and just see what would happen, and obviously that never happened. Another race I was going to get ready to do, I signed up for a Jacobsburg 10-mile trail race. That got canceled. Another one was the Wilkes-Barre half marathon, canceled. Another one was the Via marathon. This could be my second attempt, and actually my first attempt at actually training for a marathon. That got canceled. The DNL half marathon canceled, and there was a boatload of other races that I was actually going to sign up for that never even had their sign-ups due to COVID. Another thing 2020 brought was I started thinking about, okay, races are being canceled, maybe this is a new beginning. So I started thinking about triathlon, and I actually joined my local Y as soon as they were able to open up, and I started swimming, thinking maybe I could do like a super sprint triathlon. Well, I thought I was doing decent in the pool until I found out from the Y that the pool was only half the size of what I thought the pool was. So my swimming and my fitness was not as good as I was hoping at the time. And I'm definitely not giving up on triathlon. I mean, I really want to try triathlon. Get it? Try triathlon. But anyways, yeah, so I want to do a triathlon, but I want to make sure that I can swim, obviously. I mean, I know that there's the people in the water to help you, but I don't want to be that one person who shows up not knowing if they can swim in a triathlon and, putting them in jeopardy. So I want to, I went out and I bought a wetsuit, which is supposed to help with swimming, but it's not a, it's not a life preserver. It just helps you with floating. So I want to go and do some open water swimming and see, if it's something I think I can safely, wisely do. The other thing I did last year was I actually started listening to a podcast called Runners Without Limits. It's a really good podcast, and I'll leave details in the description. But anyways, they were talking about run coaching. And like I hinted at with the whole marathon thing, I didn't train for that. And I've never really trained, actually, unfortunately, for any race. I kind of just went out running first to see if I could do it. And I could, so I kind of just started signing up for races all the way from 5Ks up to a marathon, and I kind of just ran whenever I wanted to. Whatever felt like doing that day, I did it. I never had a plan. So I kind of started thinking, like, why do people follow a plan? Why do people have a running coach? So I started looking around, and I found a program and decided to get certified as a running coach. I did it because, like I said, I kind of want to know the whys. I want to be able to help my running, and I want to be able to help my kids running. My kids are starting to run. They're doing cross country, and they're going to do track, and I really want to help them. Maybe I'm, unfortunately with my age and stuff, maybe I'm slowing down, but I'm not going to quit running, and I know they're just starting, and who knows where they're going to go with their running, so I'd really like to help them to get the most out of their running. One day maybe I would like to be a running coach and actually have clients, but I'm going to use my kids as guinea pigs to make sure that I can be the type of coach that, you know, somebody needs them to be before I start expecting people to pay me to be their coach. So in October I ran, there actually was a half marathon I found. Even with all the races being canceled, it was a smaller half marathon, and they were actually able to get permission to have their race. So what they did is that you picked a start time and you would show up, and everybody, you know, they were spaced out 6 feet. You had masks on at the start. Once you started the start line, across the start line, you could take your mask off if you wanted. And the water stations were self-manned. They just had water bottles out that you could grab. And, you know, it was different, but it was a lot of fun to actually just be out there at a race again. And I did the half marathon, and my kids did the 5K. So it was really nice to be able to get out and, you know, finish off the year, you know, kind of on a positive note. And, you know, as I'm making this video today, yes, I've had races canceled for this year already, but, you know, some races are still happening. And, you know, with the vaccines rolling out and, you know, the mandates and everything starting to be lifted, I think, you know, come the end of this year that there's going to be, you know, some good amount of races that are going to be possible to happen. So this year I was training for a duathlon, which, if you're not sure what that is, it is kind of like a triathlon for people who can't swim. But no, seriously, what it is it's you start out running, and then you go to transition, you get on your bike, you go out and you ride a certain distance, you come back to transition, and you go out and run. So basically they're replacing the swimming portion of a triathlon with a second run. I've been kind of wanting to do one of those for a while, and I kind of thought, you know, even if I can't necessarily do triathlon at the moment, I could still experience multi-sport, and, you know, it would definitely help if I ever do a triathlon. And even if I don't want to do a duathlon, you know, I thought it could be a lot of fun. So I was training for that, and 2 weeks before it got canceled, the park where it was going to be, they just couldn't get permits. So that got canceled. So I found a half marathon relay race that actually I did with my kids, and that was a lot of fun. Probably more fun than the duathlon would have been, actually. We took turns running laps around a park, and it was really fun. Like I said, I have that me versus me video that I'm working on. I actually ran that the other day, the course again, to kind of see. And I'm just going to say I was a little surprised at the results. And let's see, this year I'm also going to do, last year I signed up for the Run Disney virtual summer series races. I love Run Disney, and I would love to go back and do another Run Disney race, which are not happening right now, but I think by next year they may be, hopefully, fingers crossed. But anyways, so I signed up for the virtual race last year, and they send you the medals, and I've never actually run the races yet. So I have the medals, but I personally myself have not earned them yet. So I'm going to make some videos, some fun little videos of me running the Run Disney virtual races. So, you know, keep a lookout for that. Another thing I'm going to be doing along with that is I signed up for an ultra marathon in October. Yeah, I know, an ultra marathon. So what's an ultra marathon? An ultra marathon is anything more than a marathon, 26.2 miles. What I'm going to be doing is a 50K, which is right around 31 miles. This should be really interesting. Now, why did I pick this? Well, first of all, they already have the permits. You know, when I first signed up for this race a couple weeks ago, there was still a lot of question as to what's going to happen. My fall marathon was already canceled, and I've only ever ran one marathon, and I was really looking forward to going back and running that same marathon again. So, like I said, I found a race that's actually happening, and it happens to be an ultra marathon. But the nice thing about an ultra marathon is, from what I take, is it's a little more relaxed. You know, yes, you still want to get done by a certain amount of time, but they're on a trail, and it just seems like it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be a good experience. So I'm going to make a video of me training for this definitely not a half marathon, this ultra marathon. It's going to be a 20-week training, and I'm going to kind of just show the good, the bad, and the ugly as to what I go through to get prepared for this race. I may actually tape the race too. I'm not sure. I might just tape each mile marker, or, you know, clips here and there, because, you know, 5 to 6 hours. First of all, my older GoPro, the batteries aren't going to last that long. I don't want to stop every couple you know, every hour to change batteries and, you know, go through hours of editing. So I'm probably just going to take little clips here and there and make a fun little video. You know, I'm probably most likely do that. But anyways, that's going to start in a couple weeks too, the training for that. Another thing I got coming is, you know, I used to go to the gym. I used to go to Planet Fitness, and I stopped. And I tried to Y a couple times, and I stopped. And I had some gym equipment, but, you know, with the pandemic last year and everything, I started going out and I started getting more home gym equipment. So I'm going to be putting together a video too of a little tour of, you know, my home gym and what I'm going to be using to prepare for my races. So like I said, this was just a little update video. You know, I know it's been a while since I posted anything, and I really do want to start making videos again. I really like watching other people's videos, and, you know, it really inspires me. So I would like to, you know, hopefully be able to do that. So I really want to start making videos again. So I'm going to start, you know, trying to start making some more videos. So anyways, thanks for watching this video. Like it, leave any comments down below, and stay tuned for the next videos.